Morning, morning. How are we doing? Hope everyone's having a good day. I hope we are all ready for the Tarkir Dragonstorm full set review. Um, we usually try and do one of these for every single set, and it usually goes pretty long, like 5-6 hours. It's just me talking at a screen for a bit. And just so everyone knows, I'm sure I'll explain it multiple times as people come in and ask questions and all that. We mostly do this from a like sealed slash, what is it, draft, a limited format perspective. Standard, sure, we can talk about it. Commander, sure, we can talk about it, but I am not very good at either of those formats. I mean, I'm not very good at draft either, so, whatever. But, yeah. Most of the time it is going to be, draft and limited consideration. But yeah, apart from that, we're going to spend the next 5 or 6 hours looking at all the new cards, which I'm really fucking excited for. I have tried to avoid as many spoilers as possible. I have seen this big idiot. But apart from that, I've tried to avoid as many spoilers as possible. So I'm very excited. I'm going to be going to the pre-release for this set on Friday. I've also ordered the Commander precons as well, because they're going to be interesting to play. Like, there's some very cool stuff coming out in this set, so I'm very excited. But yeah, let's get started with... I've like, again, also, so... I don't know how many people have done these set reviews, or have seen these set reviews, or have seen me do it. They always start with white, right? White is always the first color. It goes, what? White, white, blue, black, red, green, multicolored, artifact, lands. I think if I remember correctly, something in that order. Or white, black, blue, red. Some, I don't know. Whatever. It's some order. There is always a constant order. I think it is incredibly telling that this UGIN is number 1 in the set. I think they drew up UGIN and then said, right, we need a reason. Like, just, he's the first card in the set. This card came out and then they were trying to work out how Tarkir was going to fit into the Tarkir universe. Like, I guarantee you, it was UGIN, and then Tarkir came afterwards. This is the first time I've ever seen this be quite so, like, this card is the reason we made this set sort of looking thing. Anyway, so UGIN is a 7 mana, 7 loyalty planeswalker that when you cast him, you exile 1 target permanent that's 1 or more colors. Okay, he comes with a single piece of removal. That is okay. And then after that, when you cast a colorless spell, you exile up to 1 target permanent that's 1 or more colors. He then has +2 to gain 3 life and draw a card. His 0 adds 3 colorless, and his -11 search your library for any number of colorless non-land card, exile them and shuffle until your end of your turn. You may cast those cards without paying their mana cost. So I don't... Okay, in Limited, this is a Planeswalker. You probably just take him. Right? So, like, that's the thing. In Limited, he's a Planeswalker. He is removal when you play him. It's only single target removal, but he is removal when you play him. So he's probably just good. Also, in Standard, he is a colorless Planeswalker, so you probably just run him. But there is no way this UGIN is as good as the last UGIN, right? Like, I don't know if anyone has, like, I can't bring it up on the screen, but original UGIN was, I think, 7 mana as well, but his minus ability, the middle one, where it's 0, he had a minus ability, was -X, exile, or I think it was exile or destroy all non-land permanents with mana cost X or less. So he was essentially a Planeswalker board wipe, on top of being, colorless, so you could play him in any deck, and just really good on every other part of him. This UGIN doesn't do that. It deals with 1 threat, which is great. A Planeswalker that deals with 1 threat, that's all you want out of it. So when you cast it, you exile up to 1 target that's 1 or more colors. So the only problem is it can't target another UGIN. But he is clearly very colorless focused. I don't know if there is a colorless artifact. Well, no, they've got the what's it? The Simulacrum deck. The Solemn Simulacrum, is that the one that lets you spawn dudes equal to the number of artifacts every time you play an artifact? But then UGIN's not an artifact; he's just a planeswalker. But maybe he's just good enough to go into that deck. But I don't know if he's actually as like insane because he's very colorless focused. But again, in limited, he's just, 7 mana, you play him, and then you gain 3 life and draw a card, and your opponent's like, well, shit, the board state's fucking locked up. You now have a planeswalker that gives you an extra 3 life and a card every turn, or lets you play more expensive things because you can add mana. I'm probably screwed. Plus, you probably exiled their biggest, most problematic thing when you played it. So, like, limited, it's a fucking planeswalker, and it's removal. It's great. But I think in standard, this is very, like, it's so colorless focused, I'm not sure if this is as good. Because also, again, we haven't reached the colorless, because the colorless section is fucking 6 colors in the back. So I don't know what crazy colorless stuff there is in this set. But if I was scrolling through the cards when I was uploading them onto here correctly, there's only like 20 to 30 colorless things. Like, there's not enough to make any part of this UGIN really work. You can't build a colorless deck around this UGIN in draft or limited. And in standard, you can probably build a colorless deck, but I don't know what that colorless deck looks like. Again, it's probably just Simulacrum, but I don't know. And in Commander, there's probably plenty of colorless, like, Commander-y shenanigans you can do with this. But, I mean, again, it's an expensive thing. Commander probably plays it just because it's a big expensive thing. Also, the alt art of this UGIN is absolutely fucking gorgeous. So there are going to be people out there that just want it because it looks fucking good. But yeah, that's my thought. This being number 1 in the set makes me think that they wanted UGIN more than they really wanted anything else. They were just there, like, made UGIN and then said, right, we need to put Tarkir back in. Which is very telling, but, whatever. UGIN is cool, we like UGIN, so sure. And I think the card in Limited is, I mean, it's a Planeswalker. All Planeswalkers are generally just good cards to run in Limited. Like, especially in the more recent sets. Like, we had the Aether Spark in the last set, that was just good. The Chandra in the last set, I thought it was not as good, but it was still good. I mean, it's a Planeswalker. They're just always going to be good, because they're just constant value. So it's always going to be good. So yeah. This UGIN is always going to be good. It just is.